Hello and welcome to this month's Snap Retail Educational Webinar, How to Target Local Customers and Drive In-Store Sales. I'm Vince Ventura. I am the Director of Operations here at Snap Retail, and today I'm going to walk you through how to target local customers and drive in-store sales. So before we begin, just a quick overview of what we're going to talk about. I've broken this out into two separate topics. The first and I think most handy portion of the webinar is right at the front. It is how we drive in-store sales. The second is how you can target local customers with your advertising and make your advertising dollar go further. The more you spend, the better your results, hopefully, as opposed to, just tossing ads out there to a national audience and hoping that you catch a few local customers. We want to make your advertising dollars more effective. And then lastly, talking a little bit about how Snap Retail can help with this whole process. Hopefully you have a notebook handy. There's going to be a lot of information that follows. So, the big question, the $1 million question is, how can I get customers in my store? Everybody's focused on their online stores, building out e-commerce, especially now that we're only just starting to open up in some places. Online traffic was really important over the past year. But I suspect, and again, I don't have the data to back this up, but I suspect customers are going to be really craving community and relationships once they're able to come back to your stores if they're not able yet. So we really want to make sure that you are building relationships with your customers at a face-to-face level, and that you are laying a foundation of a community around your store. For me, the reason I shop with small retailers as opposed to going to big box stores is because of the relationship I have with them. I collect fountain pens, and there's a retailer that I really, really love working with. Even if their prices aren't the lowest, I still like using them because they have a great YouTube channel that teaches me about how to clean my pens. It really is about adding value to the shopping experience outside of just cost leadership and being the lowest priced. So we'll talk about some more of these ideas. So, what are some strategies you can use to drive people into your store? Now, some of these are going to depend on where you're located, really. If you don't have a lot of foot traffic, some of these may not work for you. If you do have a lot of foot traffic, you'll have options. So that's something to consider as well when you're picking your favorites of these 8 tips here to implement. But the first is horizontal signage. If people are walking down your street past your store, horizontal signage like a sandwich board or even something that's mounted to your storefront or facade can really get people's attention and let them know that you're there. Unfortunately, when people have signage above their doorway or entranceway, it's easy to miss what that store is. There's some ways we can work with that, but horizontal signage, like a sandwich board or something like that, can really get people's attention and sort of drop them into your store as opposed to have them keep walking right past. You can also get people in the store by giving them another reason to come in, like an in-store event or classes. You could do product demos. You could do, free makeovers if that's your thing. You could do, a jewelry cleaning workshop if that's your thing. You could do, if you're a quilting store or a sewing store, you could do classes that are actually another income generating source for you. So if you're charging people to come in, that's another revenue stream. You're diversifying. Look at you go. And you're getting people in the store. Maybe they impulse buy something as they're leaving. Maybe the class suggests a product that you just so happen to have in stock. You can also partner with influencers and vendors. So you can have a vendor demo in store. That's really exciting. Or if you know, or if you can reach out to any influencers on social media, local celebrities, people who are big within your industry, members of your community who are respected, just ask them to share your post, especially if it's something share worthy. I don't make those asks lightly in my personal and business life. I have a small business myself. I don't make those asks lightly. I really want to ask somebody to share content for me when I have something really, really share worthy. But it's still another avenue where you can get more attention and more eyes on your business. You can really work too hard to create the perfect store atmosphere for your brand. What's your brand like? Is it upscale? Is it approachable and down to earth? What is your store like? Does your store experience reflect your brand? When I walk through the door, do the products on the shelves match the feeling I get? You could really take some inspiration from your favorite movies and things like that. Your scenic, your set dressers. They work very hard to create an atmosphere in the film shot that you don't even think about, but it affects you. You're not thinking about that. You're thinking about the characters, but that whole background is able to create a mood and tone that is either welcoming or alarming or whatever they're going for. You can do the same thing in your store. So think really hard about your brand and what you want your customers to feel when they walk in. Is it approachable? Is it exclusive? What adjectives would you use to describe your brand? And then work hard to make your store experience feel like your brand. That's another great way to get people who are going to buy from you to come into your store and check it out. Another way is to create photo opportunities or have photo booths. Really fun, whimsical ways, again, if that's within your brand, fun, whimsical ways for you to create experiences for your customers. It seems like younger generations, and I'm one of the oldest possible millennials out there, so just to give you a sense of where I am, I'm 37, which is weird to think of millennials being that old. But younger generations, millennials and younger, are really craving an experience. They're really craving the service and experience, and so that's why they choose to shop locally, as opposed to an impersonal experience doing e-commerce and having it delivered to your home. So what sort of experiences can you offer? Photo ops are great. You can do one of those sort of backdrop displays with your logo and branding on it, and they can take a photo in front of it. You could have sort of like a fitting room area where they can try on clothes, and then after they've tried it on, they can take photos in front of a display with the clothes they're trying on. These sorts of things can really add a reason to shop. You can beef up your window displays. I know I mentioned earlier when we were talking about horizontal signage that we could do some other things with the storefront portion that maybe isn't going to jump out as much, but we can work on it. Storefront or window displays are a great way to beef up your storefront and make your business look a little bit more appealing and attractive, eye-catching. If you have an interesting or clever display in your storefront windows, you really can catch some attention, even if you aren't jutting out into the sidewalk with a sandwich board. This one I love. I love this hack. If you have in-store pickup for online orders, you may be able to convince people to impulse buy once they get into the store. And once they're in there, if your environment and atmosphere is right, if your service is good, if there's a photo opportunity, maybe they're going to want to come back too. Getting them in is the first step. I can't tell you how many times I put in online orders, and then when I'm in there, I'm like, you know what? I need these 3 things as well. So that's another great way. It doesn't cost you anything. It actually costs you less because you're not shipping anything to offer online order pickup. And bring a friend discounts. Who doesn't love that? 20% off if you bring in a friend. Now you got 2 people shopping. Now you got 2 wallets that are opening. That's a great way to double your traffic with very little effort. Just a normal sale, but you're framing it in a way that you only get the sale if you bring a friend. Now these are basic ideas. I know I went off on some tangents. There's a lot of good information here. Feel free to pause on the replay. If you're watching the replay, pause, rewind, go back through, take good notes. Choose your favorite to implement. The thing is, you don't have to do all these today. Pick your favorite one. Pick your favorite 2. And then implement them over the next month or so and look at your results. How did it go? Was it better? Was it worse? Did people say, oh, I really liked that? Then, once you've worked through a few of these, you can try some more advanced strategies or some next level strategies to get customers through your door and into your store. So, once you've taken care of the basics, how can you increase your store traffic even more? You can actually expand in-store services. So if you're only doing ring cleaning, maybe think about getting into ring repair. If you're doing, if you sell clothing, maybe get into styling or personal shoppers. Expand your services. People actually need to be present for a lot of those services. They'll come into your store. Hopefully you convert more sales. Get involved in the community. Sponsor a local team or host a fundraiser for a local Girl Scout troop. Whatever you can do to be an asset to your community will make people, A, think highly of you, and B, come to your store. Offer in-store only sales and promotions. So, a lot of people do online only sales. Try some in-store only sales and see if you get results. That'll drive people through your door to take advantage of the discount. Offer returning customer discounts, even for online customers. If you buy from me online, come in-store only, bring this coupon in, show us your smartphone, whatever it is. But you can get people to come back which is oftentimes almost as hard as getting them to come in the first time. It's cheaper, though, to get them to come back. Focus on your storefront. I know I talked about window displays, but what's that sign looking like? Does it need to be power washed? Is your logo different now? Did you update that sign 10 years ago and now you have a different logo? Is your font different or your colors? Do you have a sign that you're proud of? Maybe you need to do that. Maybe you need to power wash the front of the building or update your lighting fixtures or get a new door put in. Whatever it is, make sure that your storefront matches your brand so that your customers can associate that experience with the types of products they'll find in your store. And then most importantly, focus on your digital presence, your digital storefront. How's that Google My Business listing looking? Is it up to date? Have you been posting on there? Have you been sharing the events from our basic strategies on Google My Business? What about your social media profiles? Are they accurate? Do they have your updated hours, your updated sort of price range, your updated location if you've moved? What is going on in your digital world that's informing your customers' experience of your business? And then last but not least, ask customers what would bring them in. Do you have customers that you trust, customers that you love seeing when they walk through your door, customers who come in every week? Ask them what they love about your business. Do you have customers who've been in twice, but you don't see them all that often? Maybe they come in once, wait a couple months, come in again. Ask them why they came in that day and what you could do to bring them back more often. Asking customers, getting it right from the horse's mouth, so to speak, is a really powerful way to get customers to come back. And you can even do this via your email marketing. If you have another service like SurveyMonkey, you could run a survey and ask your customers, hey, what would bring you in? And it can be an open form question where they can just write in whatever they like. You can sort of go through these and see if you'd like to act on any. But customer feedback is always the number one because for the most part, now some people will fib a bit, but for the most part, it's going to be the most accurate data you can collect. Whew, that was a lot. That was a lot of different strategies for a lot of different things that you can do to get customers through your door. There will be a replay of this. I recommend watching the replay. Stop, start, pause. Research anything that you don't know or don't see that looks familiar to you. If you have questions, let us know. We're happy to answer them. Now, though, we're going to move on to the second part of the webinar, which is how to target these customers. So, retail businesses are tricky because they're sort of geographically restricted. The most a customer is going to come is maybe 100 miles. More if maybe you're a really specialty store and there's none in their area. Again, with me and fountain pens, I might drive 200 miles because where I live, there's no fountain pen stores. Maybe if I want to try something out before I buy it, I'll drive that distance to go to a retail location. But for the most part, people aren't going to travel more than 100 miles. So here are some strategies to kind of maximize your spending within that local market to make sure you're not leaking money out to people who maybe don't live near you. Now, we'll talk a little bit about Facebook and Instagram ads at the end of this, maybe some Facebook posting tips as well that aren't on my bullet points here. But for the most part, we are going to be talking a little bit about different types of advertising and marketing that you can be doing in your community that maybe doesn't involve your computer. Now, I just want to preface that because you're listening to a Snap Retail webinar. You expect this to be digitally focused, and it will be, I promise. But bear with me for a few moments while we talk about some other avenues you can explore to diversify your advertising and marketing spend. So, you could invest in out-of-home advertising. This would be billboards or posters or bus stop advertisements or bus advertisements if that's common in your locality. This could be banners strung across the street. This could be an ad on the side of a building. Whatever you can do to get your brand, product, sale, event, promotion in front of customers outside of their home, you can really make an impact. Broadcast, that's radio, TV. You could sponsor a podcast. You could sponsor a YouTube channel. That would also be considered broadcast advertising, and maybe a crossover with digital advertising. You'll see there's some crossover there too. Print, newspapers, magazines, the Penny Saver, wherever you want to put a print ad, you could certainly do that. You could advertise in the program of a local theater if they're opening up. You could advertise on the placemat of a local restaurant that you want to partner with. all of these are great ways to get in front of customers when they're doing other things out and about and spending money. It's interesting because you could find a restaurant that really pairs nicely with your vibe, your brand, and atmosphere, and see if they'd like to partner with you. And then maybe do a joint discount, bring in a receipt from one and get 10% off at the other and send business back and forth. That's another way to do that. But print, like being on their placemats or being on their menu or something like that, sponsoring something with a local restaurant is another way to go about doing it, not just newspapers and magazines. You have direct response. That would be postcards and mass marketing emails, things that you are sending to your customers and expecting them to take an action. So postcards that are 20% off coupons, or emails with a coupon in it. These are all things with a strong call to action. So I want you to do something, but by the time you're done reading this email, I want you to do something for me, which is click this button, buy this product, come into our store and take advantage of 20% off. That's direct response marketing. Word of mouth is huge, especially in a local situation. People recommend restaurants to me all the time. We go and check them out. That's some of the best advertising. In the last webinar, we talked about how the only thing that people believe more than online reviews is word of mouth. I just think it's so important. And then digital advertising. This isn't necessarily your social media posts. This would be buying a skyscraper ad or a banner ad on a website, or maybe buying some online newspaper ads or online magazine ads, or just buying website space that's well-trafficked website space, buying something that has a lot of visitors each month, and just buying a little piece of that website so that you can advertise your business, your product, your promotion, your sale. Now, those are a lot of things that you can be doing, and we are not all made of money. I know some people out there have budgets that are burning a hole in their pocket, and more power to you. Get your marketing spend on. Make sure that you're getting a good return on advertising spend there, but not all of us have a lot of money all the time to be spending on our marketing, and that's where you can really start to cut costs and still see an impact. Posting to social media, just posting alone, is powerful, and Snap Retail can help you with that. I'll cover that in just a minute. But posting to social media alone can be very powerful. And then once you've posted, you can boost those posts for just a couple of dollars. Now, you don't want to boost this to everybody. You could take the easiest road and just boost it and show it to your fans. Or you can show it to fans and friends of fans. But if you're like me, you have friends in a whole bunch of other cities, so that's not necessarily great either. What you could then do is create an audience on Facebook. It's what's called geo-restricted. So it's only people who, do whatever else you want, this age range, these behaviors, these interests, but you limit it based on the number of miles away from your store that they are. And that's a great way to focus only on local customers if you're going to put some money behind it in terms of digital advertising. Same with Google. You can restrict some of these locations via interest, or these audiences via interest and then location as well. So be careful how you're spending your money with ads online. You can blow through your budget quickly if your settings are incorrect. And moreover, you can both blow through your budget inefficiently if your audiences are incorrect. So just give a little attention to what kind of interests, activities, but most importantly, location your audiences are located in. So that's a whole bunch of ways that you can reach out and advertise and target people locally. If there's a billboard, that billboard's not going anywhere. If they come and see that billboard, they're probably close to your business if you've chosen your billboard location correctly. If they're on the radio, well, those radio waves don't go forever. They're probably close to you if they heard that ad. Newspaper, same thing. Those newspapers only have a radius that would probably be, coinciding with your store. Postcards, you have their address, they live nearby. This is all good stuff. And word of mouth, typically we tend to have the strongest relationships with the people we see most frequently. So don't let any of these slide. Not all of them are going to be right for everybody. Maybe you don't need a billboard. Maybe you don't want to pay for a billboard. Maybe a TV ad would break your budget. Pick and choose the ones you think are going to get you the best results. But please, 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 trust me when I say you need to diversify your marketing. Because if you just keep posting to your social media channels and you just keep advertising in the same places you've been, you're only going to reach the same audience that you've reached so far. And if you're on this webinar, that means you want more audience, more customers coming through the door. So if you're only reaching the customers you've reached previously, how are you going to get those new customers? So think about these, find the ones that speak to you, and diversify your marketing output, not just post into social media every day. All right. It seems like a lot, and it is. It really, really is. We can help, though. Snap Retail can help you with the calendar feature. This is going to allow you to schedule your emails with your coupons in it. It's going to allow you to schedule your social media posts, and you can then boost them by logging into Facebook. But also, Snap Retail can allow you to schedule events, sales, print, broadcast, even out-of-home marketing. Whatever you're doing with your marketing outreach, you can schedule it on your Snap Retail calendar. It's pretty easy to do. You would just schedule out all of your monthly content, your social media posts, your Facebook post, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, your email marketing, whatever you're sending out. Then I would come in and actually create what's called a store event for things that are happening outside of Snap Retail. So you have a billboard running from May 18th through May 23rd, right? Well, you can notate that in Snap Retail, and you can keep track of that so you know all of the marketing that's going on just by logging into Snap Retail, just by clicking in and going into one website. You can also print your calendar and then place it at high traffic areas like the break room or at the register so that your employees know when there's a sale, when there's a discount, when there's an event, and they can be prepared for it. They can provide better service to your customers, build community, just because they have all the information they need right then. It's hard to communicate information. If you struggle with that, you can really take a load off of yourself by printing out your marketing calendar through Snap Retail and just distributing it. It's great. Snap Retail can really be the central marketing hub for your business, and you can schedule all of your marketing activity and keep track of all of your external marketing with one website and one login. That really helps us achieve our mission of saving you time and money so that you can be freed up to do what it is you do best, which is running your business. Now, if you have questions about what we talked about today, you can always reach out to us at service@snapretail.com. You can log into Snap Retail and click the little question mark in the upper right-hand corner and start a live chat. You can visit our help center. We're here to help support you with the product. If you have any other questions, we'll do our best to point you in the right direction. But it was a pleasure walking you through this today, and I hope you see a lot of smiling faces in your stores as things start to open up.